will the victim, who is said to be under critical condition at the hospital, was rescued by a motorcyclist, Honest Philip, and thus an eyewitness, Audrey Satian. Honest Philip and Audrey Satian said they saw the man taking the lady from a white Land Cruiser Jeep and trying to behead her using a knife. Liberia Reunion Party presidential candidate Luther Yoffe has vowed to reform the judicial system, the judiciary as means of giving speedy trial to cases if elected in the October 10 election. Speaking recently at a presidential debate organized by Truth FM flagship program, State of the Nation, Councillor Yoffe said his administration would establish an intermediate appeal court for the burden of trial not to be rested on the Supreme Court. According to Councillor Yoffe, in order for justice and quality to be viewed in a country, the actors responsible for investigating crimes and punishing crimes must be proactive. Kennedy Yoffe also disclosed that his administration will reform the judiciary system and beef up the law enforcement officers. Councillor Yoffe has meanwhile expressed frustration over sending of convicts to jail without rehabilitating them. Presidential candidate Sheikh Mustafa Kayate has identified industrialization of the agriculture and mining sectors as the earliest means to fix the Liberian economy. The Liberia First Movement presidential candidate appearing at a recent presidential debate held in Congoton said he will introduce a total liberalization policy which will empower farmers to produce sufficient food for the state, thereby thus reducing the importation of rice and other produce. The renowned Liberian politician and activist also disclosed plans to encourage local and foreign investment or foreign partners with Liberian farmers in order to have 5 rat mills plants in 5 regions of the country. Sheikh Kuyate added that through a public-private partnership, his administration will ensure a gold refinery company which will be mandated to give Liberia 30% of its income and production. The first Liberia movement presidential candidate also vowed to revisit all concessions agreement and all those companies that have contracts to take iron ore out of Liberia will have an industry established. Shekoyate further noted that when this is done, jobs will be created for the young people and the economy will be vibrant. The county educational officer of Moswell County School System, number one, David David Barker is challenging school administrators to verify credentials of teachers seeking employment at their institution. Barker has, however, threatened drastic actions against individuals using fake credentials and degrees as means of seeking employment in Moswell County. The Moswell County CEO alarmed over the proliferation of falsified documents in the school system, terming it as troubling, something he said is seriously affecting the system. Speaking Friday at the start of a day-long teachers' workshop organized by Painesville School District or School District 1, David Barker challenged teachers in Moswell County and Liberia at large to take advantage of the teacher training in advancing themselves. Also speaking, the district education officer of Painesville Educational District 1, Moswell County School System 1, Nathan Carr disclosed that the workshop was a mandate from the Ministry of Education that aims to sharpen the skills of teachers for the academic 2023-2024 school year. Carr pledged his commitment to collective work with schools in his district for a successful year. And away from Liberia, the death toll following devastating floods has soared to 11,300 as 10,100 still remain missing after the catastrophic storm. The United Nations says around 80,000 people in Libya were in need of immediate humanitarian aid before the floods. They have launched an emergency appeal. Turkey, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates have sent rescue medical teams, but the amount of aid that is arriving there doesn't appear to be anywhere near the volume of report or support needed, according to the BBC. After years of war, the floods have caused intensive damage to infrastructure that was already struggling. Roads and bridges were damaged in Ghana, and that is struggling movement in and out of the city. The large number of decomposing bodies still on collapsed structures and flood waters had raised concern about risks of disease for survivors. Libya Interior Minister says the authority are investigating health hazard in the city and will make a decision on the threat of a potential outbreak. That's a new summary is back to Ellen Dodo.
Thanks to Johnson Batoba for the news bulletin stories. We are following tonight. A 41-year-old man identified as James Tokba has reportedly committed suicide by hanging in Division 6 Firestone, Magibi County. Lucas Richards, an American missionary, faces investigation on suspicion of attempting to slice the throat of his girlfriend Jessica Law, but said the victim was hit by a motorcycle after disembarking his vehicle. In former Chief Justice Gloria Mususka and others' murder trial, defense lawyers found a visit crime scene to boost their arguments in favor of the former Chief Justice to strengthen their case jury. Away from Liberia, the death toll following devastating floods in Libya has soared to 11,300 as 10,100 still remain missing after the catastrophic storm, according to the BBC. Let's now take the first development on news desk tonight. Lucas Ritchie, an American missionary facing investigation on suspicion of attempting to slit the throat of his girlfriend Jessica Law, said she was hit by a motorcycle after disembarking his vehicle. He said while trying to rescue her, he was attacked by angry motorcyclists who accused him of attempting to kill her. Planning.
is yelling out to other motorbikes, KK, whatever they're driving by, and this big lorry, big truck, big red truck, carrying, I don't know, one hot truck, something like that. Telling them that I heard the girl, that I did something to the girl. One of how they were saying that they were yelling it out, screaming it out, and so they're stopping, and then all these motorbike guys are stopping, and the best of me. I'm walking around the front of the car. She was walking around the front row. She goes around the car, and she's coming to get in the car. Then something goes through the window and comes and hits me right here on the head. And when it hit me, I did like this on the steering wheel. And one of the guys took a big stick and started pounding. He came in front of the Land Cruiser and we started pounding on the thing.
Meanwhile, Jessica's mother, Cynthia Law, in a live interview with journalists, said the incident happened weeks after her daughter got pregnant for riches. Madame Law alleged that the missionary reportedly destroyed the pregnancy by injecting her daughter.
Incarcerated, a missionary in Cape Mount, and my children on the top, while the only MS on the hour, wow. So he went there to go teach, he saw my daughter, he said he loved her. He said he wanted to marry this girl. She gave me on it. I said, okay, if you love me, no problem. Say, oh, mama, you die at work. So I said, then why now? Why you was saying, we'll marry you at work? No. He said, he told the work, and you need to go, okay. He was second work because the woman he married is the other woman. So I said, oh, okay, if you love me, then you can come over when he bring you to see the family. So she said, okay. So later on after 1 week, 2 and that means on the high for the people on the bishop and higher for your wife. That means the doctor also he told your wife, he did a transition. Under the transition, so Petra and he say, oh, I want to go and come back to go to the court for us to get our document. I said, okay. I said, I'm not being seen because I'm a Christian. I will pay the dollar first. I said, okay. So I go low, carry them out for outreach. So later on the last day, when he kept my error, so they were there. Now how she comes to Mama, and look, I'm pregnant. So I said, you told Lucas, say yes. You got happy about it. So went to the hospital to kill the kid go down after the program. After 2 weeks, the kid got came out. He visited us. He said, oh, I will find a partner with everything in there before going to before going to the state. So after the find a partner, they will be half for now. So what I would do, that should be with me. So we have our own place. You can go and come or you come back or you can send the money. Then we can find the place. The kid on that even when kid they went inside. That means they were praying. They again they back to here the hospital. Went to the hospital and she was confirmed she was pregnant. The baby was there, but they moving. So the pregnant said move. That means our intention is here to do it. He gave her the injection in the bin. So that man I call her car. I said, oh, Lucas gave Jessica injection, but she said, oh, last week and she bleeding. So he said, you sure you do it intentionally? I said, I want to believe that for the way he can behave, that he's so lawful. Take his challenge in the family. So I go low for there. After a few times, because I'm coming to the kid today. I was just telling us when I come. I said, they want to share in their partner. And they're taking to take on the airport. So you come today. Was saying that if I was thinking, where inside the Jessica came out to the car, to the way inside. When they went inside the talk, Jessica boy, he said, oh, our father was out to the car. This is the whole happy. Say the parents say, well, say, mommy, I'm very sorry for what happened. I know what he said, well, I'm sorry. I think that he feels so bad. I said, no problem, because if I go, we'll let it go. So he went inside to work. But the feet of the two of them were in the car. But the boy in the car, the left. I saw the left, I said, I go back. I went to church. And the church closed on me. Oh, while I was coming back, so while I was on my way coming back, I saw the car passing by me to try and mark it. So I said, I'm going to check because worry out. Maybe I need to ask her going to say that.
Here is an account of the incident by a motorcycle Ernest Philip and an eyewitness Adrian Sati.
On my way from today, I met this my fellow girl on a bike coming, but before I could get to that over here, I met a white man coming with a Land Cruiser. In a white Jeep, the white man had a girl with. On that way, I don't really know what portray to be exact. I don't really know what happened. But I saw the white man taking the girl out of the car, putting her in the bush, trying to strangulate her, and then using a left that was in his car. I don't know if the African told the devil that, but he had a lot of weapons in the car. Take the left to try to stop the girl in the process. So going, they not come again. Oh, yeah, this is like, oh, sit down. Those who are running the president, my brother, you don't want running the president, my brother, the back to you. Ah, oh, I don't know, but what would you say, my brother? Oh, they equal. I'm men, women, what the cat will put again, they got, what's already again. I want on the spot, I want to find you, that is never how to what you mean. And how they still have to go out that door. I tell my woman to carry her to the hospital. If the right now, I'm going to take her off position, she will not be survived. So I try to go behind and I'll tell you what you're on. I won't catch you alive or report into the nobody will harm me, nobody must report anything for me. I won't catch you alive for reporting to the police. I won't reach one now, people, Uncle Christ try to help me. I'm controlling him, what you're going to follow up, bring to the devil here.
Ernest Philip and R. Wesley Adrian Sati there giving an account of the incident which happened in Caldwell Bushel Island on Thursday. Earlier was the mother of Jessica Cynthia Law and the American missionary Lucas Richard. A 41-year-old man identified as James Stokbar has reportedly committed suicide by hanging in Division 6, Firestone, Margibi County. Stokbar, according to our Lower Margibi County correspondent, committed the act on Thursday after his wife caught him having sexual intercourse with another woman in the rubber bush. RCA Lower Margibi County correspondent disclosed that following an investigation, the deceased was asked to pay 10,000 Liberian dollars as damage to the husband of the woman in question, which he Tokpa accepted. According to the report, Tokpa later told the people that he was going to rub chemical in his rubber and he did not return until he was found on fire. Here is our Lower Margibi County correspondent, Edwin Keto.
For the 1 year he was born in 1982, so he is James Topa. On Thursday morning, he left Indian and went to work at 606 in Firestone and while tapping in a boat. His wife followed him to go see actually what he was doing. And when he walked around in the bush, he caught another woman having an affair in the road bush. And so she brought it complete in the town, and James Topa was invited after work. He was engaged on the issue and he admitted to the commission of the act. And so the husband of the woman that he was talking to, the husband said that James Topa should pay 10,000 as a damage. And so James Topa accepted to pay that money. In the afternoon, he left the camp to go apply chemical on the rubber tree in the boot. And so in the interim, he did not return until this afternoon. He went to find his body in the rubber tree.
Where is the body right now?
The body was taken to the Dusa hospital and is there pending perhaps some family meeting and subsequent burial.
So where is the woman? Two of them were having an affair.
The woman is in Division 6. His family is also there with the children. And in fact, there's a strong policy. No worker allowed to love to his or friend partner. So those are some of the factors that led the teams to committing this suicide by hanging on Thursday afternoon.
Edwin Keto is our Lower Margibi County correspondent there giving an account of a 41-year-old man identified as James Stokbar who committed suicide after having sexual intercourse with another man's wife. Presidential candidate Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate has identified industrialization of the agricultural and mining sectors as the easier means to fix the Liberian economy. The Liberia First Movement presidential candidate appearing at the recent presidential debate held in Concord said he will introduce a total liberalization policy which will empower farmers to produce sufficient food for the state, thereby reducing the importation of rice and other produce. The renowned Liberian politician and activist also disclosed plans to encourage local and foreign investors to partner with Liberian farmers in order to have 5 rice mill plants in 5 regions of the country.
We want to introduce a policy that will be referred to as total liberalization policy. In this policy, we will focus on the industrialization of agricultural and mining sectors. We will ensure that our farmers will be given support, and we encourage international partners and local investors to cooperate with our farmers so that we will be able to hire 5 rice mill plants in Liberia, since rice is a staple food, and each of the region will have one, and we will ensure the government of Liberia, under my leadership as president of this country, we will provide support for our farmers to give them equipment and to ensure that we have where they transport from the farm to the city, that the companies that we established for milling the rice, they and our local farmers will have a partnership. When the man harvests, he has a place to sell the rice. And when the rice is sold to the manufacturing plant, they will mill the rice and sell it locally on our market. We are known as a country that has huge deposit of natural resources. Our gold and diamond are leaving this country without any trace, without any account. We will ensure that we have a refinery company in Liberia. We should be a PPP, private public partnership, to have a law to ensure that every mineral in this country that includes iron ore, we must have 50% industrialized in our country when the iron ore company. So when I become president, we will revisit all the concession agreements, all those that have contract to take iron ore from here or as well. You must have an industry in this country, or the Liberian government will establish through partnership with private institutions to establish Liberia's steel manufacturing factory. And we will ensure that all of those who have signed concession agreements, 30% of iron ore must be prepared or industrialized in Liberia. We should create jobs for those young people, those citizens of our country that have already been trained in accordance with our first plan.
That was the voice of Liberia First Movement presidential candidate Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate. Well, listeners, you are in tune to the program News Desk, a 45-minute production from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Stories we are following tonight: a 41-year-old man identified as James Topa has reportedly committed suicide by hanging in Division 6, Firestone, McGill County. Lucas Riches, an American missionary, faces investigation on suspicion of attempting to slit the throat of his girlfriend, Jessica Law, but said the victim was hit by a motorcycle after she tried to disembark his vehicle. In former Chief Justice Gloria Musu's and others' murder trial, defense lawyers found a visit crime scene to boost their argument in favor of the former Chief Justice. And away from Liberia, the death toll following devastating floods in Libya has soared to 11,300 as 10,100 still remain missing, according to the BBC. And now continue with more news on the program. The Liberia Rebuilding Party presidential candidate Luther Yoffie has vowed to reform the judiciary as means of giving speedy trial to cases if elected in the October 10 election. Speaking recently at a presidential debate organized by Truth FM Flagship program State of the Nation, Councillor Yoffie said his administration will establish an intermediate appeal court for the burden of trial not to be rested on the Supreme Court. According to Councillor Yoffie, in order for justice and tranquility to prevail in the country, the actors responsible for investigating crimes and punishing crimes must be proactive.
Tranquility will bring in a country because without justice, there will be no tranquility in the nation. In order for justice to prevail in the land, the actors that are responsible for investigating crimes proactive in sending people to jail, but we forget the aspect of rehabilitating them. So, for example, you incarcerate a man for 7 years because of crime he committed, very fine. But as we incarcerate them, we forget about them. 30 years later, with all rehabilitation whatsoever, he comes out of incarceration after 7 years, not rehabilitated, not giving any skill. He becomes 2 times more dangerous than ever before. And then you bring him into society because he has set his stand for prison, and then he begins to inflict his venom on what we are going to do. We are going to ensure that we reform our judicial. And to do that, we will reduce the trial time for the enforcement officer. We are going to make sure we establish intermediary appeal courts so that not every appeal coming from second court will go directly to the Supreme Court, because we have a lot of backloads of cases on the docket for 4 or 5 years that cannot be adjudicated. Where there is no justice, there will be no peace. So we want to create opportunities for justice to be speeded and to be achievable. So these intermediary courts will hear most of the appeal cases, and then where if the appeal cases are based on the constitutionality of the land, then such cases will not go up to the Honorable the Supreme Court of the Republic of Nigeria. Otherwise, those intermediary appeal courts are going to adjudicate those matters, and solutions therefrom will not be for appeal to the Honorable Supreme Court.
A voice of Liberia rebuilding party presidential candidate Luther Yoffe in this brief sport news. Manaki Command late minute goal for Liska FC gave them a narrow 1-0 win over better rivals B Mountain this evening at the Antoinette Tottenham Stadium in Monrovia. Liska have now gone 6 point clear on top of the table in defense of their league title. That now bring you the development quickly. The County Education Office of Moswaro County School System, number 1, David Boaka, is challenging school administrators to verify the credentials of teachers seeking employment at their institutions. Boaka has, however, threatened drastic actions against individuals using fake credentials and degrees as means of seeking employment in Monsooro County. The Monsooro County CEO alarmed over the proliferation of falsified documents in the school system, terming it as troubling, something he said is seriously affecting the school system.
So we're encouraging all school administrators, if you are employing any staff, if documents are brought to you, if you are not certified, contact the CEO's office. If the DO will not be able to verify that, you will forward to my office and will verify it. If we are not certified with that certificate is brought, we will take it to the institution that you brought that certificate from. Because that institution has the authority to say whether a document is fake or not. We don't have that authority. So we take it to the institution will verify it. If it is authentic, they say the document is authentic, and they will verify. If it is fake, it becomes our problem, and then we get it. Why? You must have the fake documents to obtain a job. These are situations affecting the system. People are now living and going to warfare centers to duplicate documents that they are not working for. They are affecting the system. And they are being people. If you are found in that category, please think about your own job. Think about your own. If you will be destroying somebody's job, think about your own. They are not good for you. The spirit will judge the body. When you pull up a child or a student who cannot perform, and you can't hear, it's very serious. There's another opportunities coming from people. Opportunities are only come from those who are prepared. If you prepare yourself for opportunities, get out of it. But it's not all happen to become complacent. Graduate from high school, you want to excel. But we want to remain ready to travel there without high school document and say we are educated. You are not. You are educated. You're not. Go and qualify yourself. You'll be standing in the classroom, you'll be speaking with authority. You'll be speaking with things that you know about. If you don't advance yourself, you'll be speaking out of ignorance. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do.
Also speaking, the District Education Officer of Pinzio Educational District 1, Monsooro County School System 1, Nathan Carr, disclosed that the workshop was a mandate from the Ministry of Education that aims to sharpen the skills of teachers for the academic 2023-2024 school year. Carr pledged his commitment to collectively work with the schools in his district for a successful school year.
What we are about to do is a mandate from the Ministry of Education, and want to appreciate the leadership of His Excellency Dr. George Manawia for the opportunity given us to share in this capacity. We are here today to refresh our mind. We are here today to sharpen our skills. We are here today to ensure that we are fit for this academic year. And it is important that you listen very attentively. It is important that you take notes. It is important that you do whatever you can so that whatever knowledge that will be inculcated today, you can help to transform or transfer such knowledge to our students. It is not about you. It is not about us. It is about the future leader of Liberia. The essence of training is to sharpen our skills. The essence what training does, training turns trash into treasure. When you are well trained, you are not afraid to face the class. And that is why this platform is created to help sharpen your already skills so that at least when you go to the class, you are prepared to download or deliver whatever content you have in front of you. Again, on behalf of my boss, we want to say you are most and wholeheartedly welcome to this academic year 2023-2024. And it promises to be a good year. It promises to be a good year because there are so many good things that government have in the pipeline for the education system. But I believe together with our cooperative effort, we can make a better system in Liberia. You are most welcome.
Nathan Carr is the District Educational Officer of Pinzo Educational District 1, speaking there at a day-long workshop for teachers within the district. Earlier was the voice of David Boaka, the County Education Officer of Monsoro County School System Number 1, also speaking earlier. The death toll following devastating flood in Libya has soared to 11,300 and 10,100 still remain missing after the catastrophic storm. The United Nations says around 800,000 people in Libya were in need of immediate humanitarian aid before the floods. They have launched an emergency appeal. Turkey, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates have sent rescue and medical teams, but the amount of aid that is arriving there does not appear to be anywhere near the volume of support needed, according to the BBC. After years of civil war, the floods have caused extensive damage to infrastructure that was already struggling. Roads and bridges were damaged in Derna, and that is obstructing movement in and out of the city. The large number of decomposing bodies still on collapsed structures and in flow waters have raised concerns about the risk of disease for survivors. Libya's Interior Minister Emma El Dabiasi said the authorities are investigating health hazards in the city and will make a decision on the threat of a potential outbreak. Well, listeners, this is how we come to the end of this Friday edition of the program News Desk. Just before we go to recap the top stories, a 41-year-old man identified as James Stoker has reportedly committed suicide by hanging in Division 6 Firestone, McGill County. Lucas Richards, an American missionary, faces investigation on suspicion of attempting to slit the throat of his girlfriend Jessica Law, but says the victim was hit by a vehicle after trying to disembark his car. Former Chief Justice Gloria Musu and others murder trial defense lawyers finally visit crime scene to boost their argument in favor of the former Chief Justice. And away from Liberia, the death toll following devastating floods in Libya has soared to 11,300 as 10,100 still remain missing, according to the BBC. Thanks to our reporters and contributors for making this edition of the news program a success. Johnson Batoban brought you the news bulletin. Kopo Sanga Sarah Control. Maya Tobin has been our technician on duty. My name is Edwin Dolo. I have been your presenter.
when it comes to communication in Liberia, Orange is number one.
Orange is the best.
Orange is the best.
Oh, Orange is the best.
Orange is the best.
Strongest network, widest coverage.